I am so happy to be here today. It's about time we got together. It's about time, isn't it? I think it's about time that we hear about what we can do with our time to change lives for many people. What is the it? Hopefully this morning we'll be able to kind of come together and find out what that is. I started losing my memory. My children started saying, "Mom, don't you even know me?" You know, I couldn't remember their names. And it scared me to death. And so I thought, if I can't use my mind, what am I going to do with my time? Because I started realizing that my identity is wrapped up in what I do with my time. And I started thinking, if I lose my mind, I won't be able to do the things that I've always done. I mean, in fact, I don't know what's going to happen. Next year, instead of introducing yourself, you may come up to me and say, "You are Kim Skinner, and I am so-and-so." Even if I lose my mind, there's still a purpose for me. Life can still have meaning, and I want you to come with me as we think about it on this adventure, okay? Nietzsche was the one who would challenge heart issues because he was an atheist, and he said anybody who does good things basically does them because they're getting something back. And I think he had something there, because I have a divided heart, and I do things with good intentions, but I know there's always that selfish angle, there's always that insecurity. I'm always kind of on the edge wondering, well, is this going to make me look bad, or are people going to like me? So in thinking about identity, you got to realize what Nietzsche said was right. A lot of times what we do, and we do good because we want to do good, but at the same time there's something in it for us. So think about that in the way that we look at our time and in the future. Life change took place for me 5 years ago when I went to India. This girl was a street child, and people had brought her in, these women that I met, and had fed her every day, sometimes the only meal that she ever got. And so they were using their time where we might think, I don't have enough time. They had every reason to say that because they didn't have microwaves. They didn't have cars. They had to fight the crowds to go anywhere. Their lives were so difficult, and yet they carved out time every day to care for the poor around them, primarily the children. And so it challenged me and made me think, these are the least of these. These women in India, the widows are considered dead to the families. So these were the least of these. These were the dregs of society. When you become a widow, your family cuts you off. You don't go to birthday parties. You don't stay in their home anymore. Nobody cares for them. So right alongside the young children who were orphaned were these widows, the least of these. Has anybody ever done the river run? Anybody ever done the, yeah, I see some of you have, okay. In the river run, you got an amount of time. Some of you do it for fun. The last time I did it, I didn't care about the time, I just did it for fun. Some of you do it because you have this much time to finish the race, and you're thinking about it, you're struggling, and so the clock's ticking. And I would suggest that sometimes we go through life like this. This was when I was feeling like a real stud jock, the river run would start, and I'd kind of start out slow, and then you go, and over the horizon, you see the people with water, the little cups of water. And you need water. You got to fit that into your schedule. But you're thinking time's ticking, so you go like this, and you grab that cup of water, and you guzzle it down, and you throw it, and you just keep on going just as fast as you can. I'm suggesting that we can go through life like that. I'm going to drop off the kids. Don't speak to me, kids. Throw them out the door. You go up here, then you go to got things up, grocery store. And you can go through life that way without touching. In fact, with making people feel used. The meaning of life, I think, is giving to people. Giving of our heart. Touching them. Think of what could have happened if you're running the river run if you actually stop and shake hands and thank them for the water instead of throwing it down and running. And I think that's what I saw in India, and I think it's something that we all need to participate in. Self-giving love. Stephen Covey has written many books on time management and being a highly effective person, and I think this is a good chart because basically it changes in two ways. One, you got to look at what's urgent because there are things that are urgent, but the main thing is you got to look at what's most important. And usually it's the tyranny of the urgent that gets us sucked in. And that is the way to become a grumpy person altogether, and you don't do what you really want to do. Is what you're investing your time in making you a mean lady? Are you finding joy, and are you seeing other people flourish when they're around you? Do your children hide from you when you just come in the door, or are they happy to see you? I want to end with 2 Greek words. One of them is the word called chronos. Chronos is the word from which we get chronology, and chronology is in real time. The clock is ticking, the stopwatch is going, the sands are falling through the seashore. The sands are there. This is chronos, this is real time. And in real time, we can have an effect on other people because of kairos. And kairos is the same Greek word for time, it's the same English word for time, but kairos in Greek is not measured by time. It's not measured in quantitative, it's qualitative. It's a quality of time. And it's something that can penetrate a heart through a touch, through a word, that can elevate us out of our brokenness, out of our misery, out of our slavery to the clock. And it's experienced like this. Remember the Gate River Run? You grab that paper and throw it down. It's experienced like this: personal sharing and interaction. If you want to use your time wisely, be a giver and look people in the eye and listen well and sip like this. If you want to use your time redemptively, if you want to be a giver and not a taker, think about giving yourself by sitting down and exchanging pleasantries, being a good listener, and forgetting about the clock ticking. Kairos time heals the heart. Kairos time elevates us out of our misery and self-pity. It's something that gives us hope. It's the thing that got me through the time when I was thinking I'm losing my mind. And I may still be. But even if I do, it's okay. You need the awakening. And once you're awakened, you're always going back to saying, I am a broken, screwed up person. I can't handle it by myself. I need touch. I need hope. I need kairos time. I need to work through the things that are going to make me a selfless person and prevent me from being a user.